Good afternoon, and welcome to episode 1 of Inside the Stage Door. My first guest has been described by reviewers as a major voice in new Australian playwriting and one of the most promising young playwrights in the country today. Please welcome actor, playwright, composer, clown, rising star, and all-round good guy, Jamie Hornsby.
Hello.
So, Jamie, in the current isolated climate of COVID-19, can I ask, what is your present state of mind?
I'm going a little bit stir-crazy, to be honest, and particularly coming just off of Fringe. I was so used to, going out, doing the show, going out to the Fringe Club, just sort of experiencing the world, and now to be back in my room, writing away, it's a bit of an adjustment.
Have you found it's made you more creative or less creative?
A bit of both. It sort of comes and goes in waves, I find. I've been lucky that as a writer, I kind of work from home a lot anyway, so it's not too much of an adjustment in some ways. And I have had a couple of deadlines that have been great to work towards. But now, over the next few months, so much has been cancelled all over the country for myself and for a whole lot of people that it does look a little uncertain. You sort of think, oh, what am I going to be doing next week or next month?
Yeah. I imagine it's a fairly solitary thing to be doing writing, so it's not a major stretch for you to be in your room with yourself, with your thoughts and characters in your head.
Yeah, it's mostly just I can't reward myself for finishing a scene by going to the movies,
As a writer, where would you say most of your ideas come from?
The thing I've always found easiest as a writer has been dialogue, kind of because I have the ear for it. I get the sense of how people talk very well and the rhythm of that and the flow and the juxtaposition and whatnot. Or it comes from, articles I read. I'm very much a lot of my plays have been born from things that I've seen online that have pissed me off to an extent.
Yeah.
Rage is quite a good motivator for me. I've been thinking about writing a play about, Cardinal Pell, things like that. There's a real sense of sort of, oh, that's not right, and someone should write something about that.
Yeah.
So why don't I?
Is rage where the idea of Because There Was Fire came from?
Partly. Because There Was Fire, for those who don't know, the story basically follows two kids from a sort of rough-ish area who jump in a car and head off to the outback and turn to a life of crime, sort of thinking they're going to be Australia's Bonnie and Clyde, and if they can just keep running from town to town and, robbing post offices and servos, that everything will turn out fine. And spoilers, it does not. But I think it's a very common thing, that sense of just wanting to pack it all in and go somewhere else and find something new. Again, maybe it's that magpie brain of mine. It's very much, the grass might be greener out there,
Yeah. Speaking of Because There Was Fire, would you mind if you could read some part of that for us, please?
No worries. I'll do the opening monologue. Bloody hate summer. It's the worst. Mozzies and bogans and fuckwits. Oh my. Crack a tinny and kill a few brain cells. Give me a break. Swelter through the days and fidget through the nights. Off of school, not that I go much. Only 1 year left. One too many. It's that awkward period in early January. Christmas is done. No more prawns, presents or racist uncles, but nothing's really started back up again. Limbo. 3 more weeks of this. Fuck. Spend my days down by the creeks throwing rocks at ducks just to hear them quack. Dick around on the internet till I run out of data. Run out pretty quick. Didn't used to be like this. Used to have friends. Well, one friend, Jane. Been my best friend since year 2. Thick as thieves. Inseparable. Till she got a boyfriend, fucking bitch. Walked to the shops. Walked back again. Jeered at by the boys on the bus. Oi, show us your tits! Sometimes I do. This place didn't used to be like this. It used to be nice. Quiet, but nice. Now it's just this. And I'm left with just one question. Why doesn't anything interesting ever happen here?
Wow. Bravo. So I believe there's an audio version of this out now, is that right?
Yes, we just released an audio version. Japako, the company that commissioned it, have had to shut doors due to the COVID-19 pandemic until at least early August, I believe. And so they're looking at other ways of finding some revenue. And so they got the original cast back in, which was lovely. Lovely to see them again. They recorded the scripts last weekend. It is a two-hander, but there's a lot of other parts, so it was really great to have other people come in to play those little parts as well.
Yeah.
And it's available now at japako.org.au.
So how long have you been a performer for?
I've been doing theatre, acting and performing for about 9 years or so, I think.
Okay, right. So were you singing first before acting? Is that the thing you did first?
Yeah, singing sort of got me into everything. Went from singing to doing musicals to doing straight plays to going to drama school, and then...
So clearly you're a trained actor?
Yes.
Where did you train?
I studied at AC Arts, or Adelaide College of the Arts in Light Square.
You believe in actor training then? Do you think we should have actor training in this country, or we shouldn't have it? Or
I think we definitely should have actor training in this country. Acting training, while yes, it trains you for the job of being an actor, it sort of trains you to be a human as well.
Right.
It really does cultivate a sense of empathy and curiosity and intelligence and sort of just being a little bit more aware of the world and your place in it. And, actors or people who have gone through acting training have gone on to be brilliant teachers and directors and some rocket scientists. You don't have to train just to eventually work in the arts. I think it really does set you up with a really great baseline to just be a well-rounded human.
Who would you say you were influenced by as an actor and as a writer?
I think it's much easier to draw my influences as a writer than an actor. Partly because I think when acting is working really well, it's kind of because of your own uniqueness, I think. I think a lot of it is if you try to act like someone that you've seen act, or, an actor that you like, if you try to do an impression of them, you can get by, but it's never really truthful.
Right.
But in terms of writing, I find a real affinity with people like Pinter. I love the plays of Martin McDonough. I also love Lucy Kirkwood, who's a brilliant English writer. Some of her plays are amongst my favourites. Convention's always been a big one for me.
Yeah. As a performer?
Both. I really like his style as a performer and a musical comedian, but also his writing is so clever and the wordplay and the ideas are so rich.
Yeah.
Someone's a good writer when you get a little bit jealous when you're listening to their stuff.
He's definitely up there, yes. Speaking of writing, do you believe in the restaging of the classics, or should we only be exploring new works?
I'll caveat this by saying that as a writer of new works, I have a little bit of a bias here.
I thought you might.
I would love to see more new works staged. I do think there's room for both. And I think, I love Shakespeare so deeply. And I think the classics do inform us about a lot of human nature and what the world was like and how it hasn't really changed in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
There's a reason the classics can keep being done, and that's because they usually touch on something really universal.
Yeah.
Whether or not the sort of window dressing has changed in the time since. But I think it would be great to see a little bit more of a focus on new work for a while. And maybe, the classics have been around for ages. They can always come back.
Absolutely, yeah. Are the arts important to society?
I think particularly right now, I think we're getting quite a clear sense of just how important they are because, we're almost all of us are stuck at home most of the day, if not the whole time. And what do? We turn to Netflix and we turn to books and radio and songs and, we look at paintings, I think art is really important as an outlet and as a sort of communal experience. There's a great quote that I love, which says that theatre is the empathy machine, which is when a bunch of people who don't know each other sit down in a dark room all facing the same way and watch and hope that something magical will happen.
Yeah.
I think art is a really important way of connecting us to ourselves and to each other as society. Yeah.
What advice would you have for someone entering the profession?
Well, whenever I get asked this, I feel a little bit fraudulent. I feel like I'm still sort of entering and I kind of get the sense of who am I to give any advice, but maybe that kind of makes my advice valuable in a way. I think the most important thing to do is just persevere and keep going. And if you love it, just keep writing or acting or drawing or painting or dancing. Yeah.
It might seem like a bit of a strange question, but what advice would you have for those in the profession?
Give me a job.
Good answer.
Very good. I think it is interesting as I go along on my career, meeting the people who've been around for a while. The people that I've enjoyed meeting the most, and the people whose work I tend to enjoy the most, are the ones who are very open to sort of input from all angles.
Yeah.
They're really lovely and kind, and they listen, and they're very much concerned with helping out those who aren't quite that far along yet. They like to send the elevator back down, as people say.
Yeah, right.
I think that's really important for someone, who's more established in their careers, to sort of keep an eye out for the people who are coming up behind you and try to help out as much as you can.
Yeah. It's a lovely analogy, isn't it, to send the elevator back down. It's really nice.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely. Well, we're about to view Under the Rug, composed by Jamie Hornsby. Take it away, Under the Rug.
I think it's undeniable, it's hard to be a man. Nobody appreciates you're doing the best you can. Especially in law enforcement, with all of its demands. You can't take it so seriously. And so I'll sweep that clue right under the rug. Sweep that clue right under the rug. Sweep that clue right under the rug and ignore the mess. Sweep the clue right under the rug. That bloody shoe under the rug. The DNA too under the rug. 'Cause no one needs the extra stress. I'm stressed. And of course this doesn't just apply to our boys in blue. There's lots of blokes with lots of things they're being asked to do, like using proper pronouns, looking women in the eye, enacting a comprehensive national bushfire strategy. But change is hard and life is short, though it's shorter for some of you. And still we really can't be asked. And so we'll sweep our guilt right under the rug. The blood that's spilled under the rug. Those women killed under the rug. We'll never look there. Sweep our shame right under the rug. All complaints go under the rug. Shift the blame straight under the rug. 'Cause no one said that life was fair. And from time to time you picture all them grieving families. The wondering, the suffering, the things not meant to be. And I guess it kinda weighs on you. And I guess sometimes you think, thank God it's them instead of me. And so you sweep those feelings under the rug. The law needs repealing under the rug. Public healing under the rug. What else can we fit under the rug? Culpability, public scrutiny, vulnerability, emotional literacy, gender binaries, coal refineries, patriarchy, wearing khaki, bodily autonomy, debts in custody, climate policy, meritocracy, immigration, legislation, allegations, isolation, authenticity, male complicity, impropriety, all society under the rug. Let's go! Woohoo! 'Cause life's a lot less stressful with your fingers in your ears. At least that's what you mumble as you stumble through the years. And if it starts to vex you, well, just grab a couple beers. 'Cause the problem doesn't affect me. Well, it does, but just not personally. and that's the way that life should be.
That was amazing, Jamie. What an amazing piece of music. Thanks, Jamie, for your brilliant answers. You've been Jamie Hornsby and I've been James McCluskey Garcia from Reading Companions Australia. You've been watching Inside the Stage Door. I'd like to thank Ipskit Productions, Teppo Films and Tempo for 2 Productions for putting this together. Please like and share our page. We'll see you very soon for episode 2.